It is 9:23. We're back again with the garden guy, Dale Kay. He's answering viewer questions for us this morning. There were so many of them. So we want to get to, we'll start with Jim's out of this break. He wants to know, is it too late in the season to weed and feed your lawn?
So we're about midway through the growing season, or just a little past midway through the growing season. So let's talk about in relation to lawns. Firstly, for lawns to stay nice and viable out of dormancy, they need about an inch of water a week. The other thing is, when we're talking about weeds, is we want to make the environment for our turf grasses as favorable for growth and less favorable for weeds to establish. So making sure that you aerate your lawn, that's really good. Most weeds actually prefer a compacted soil, and turf grasses like bluegrasses and ryegrass actually prefer a little bit more of an aerated soil. So aeration is one of those simple things that you can do, and also a lot of weeds actually don't mind the drier conditions, where our turf grasses need that more of that constant water. So that inch of water a week will help make sure that your grasses are really super competitive. When it comes to weed and feed, basically you want to feed your lawn at a minimum twice a year. Spring and fall is the most important. That usually occurs around just after my birthday, around Labor Day, somewhere around there.
Think of Dale.
The third. But you just want to make sure that you fertilize then. And then as far as weed control, when you talk about weed and feed, it usually just says it like right on the bag. There's a mixture of fertilizer and a granular kind of chemical in there. That's the herbicide. The thing with when it's in a bag like this in granular, the actual herbicide actually has to sit on the leaf and stay there. Actually has to find it and sit there and stay, which is kind of I don't really like this product per se. I would just rather just fertilize your lawn, and if you want to fertilize and have that super green lawn, then you're up to about 3 or 4 fertilizings a week. The better way to control weeds is just with a spray like this one. This is actually a very good spray, or you can manually pull weeds, right? You don't have to use a herbicide. But basically you just use that instead of using something that's in conjunction, because this is like, I don't play craps, but I hear that, you know, that word, it's a crapshoot, right? So this granular piece of chemical actually has to find the leaf, stay on the leaf for a little bit of time for it to work. There is also, I want to just show this really quick, it's corn gluten. The corn, it's more of a friendlier product when it comes to controlling weeds, but that corn gluten will inhibit crabgrass, dandelions, and as it says on the bag, other weeds.
Okay. Other weeds. All right, next up, Donna. She says, I have 5 peony bushes. Here's your peonies, Alex. One ended up with blight this spring, just as the buds were developing. I cut that one to the ground. I've been treating them with copper fungicide. I also treated the other 4, and they were fine. How long do I need to continue treating them? Do I need to do anything special next year?
Once blight gets into peonies like that, and that is blight, it is very hard to get rid of. Destroying the plant, not in the compost bin, that's probably your best bet. She mentioned that she was using some copper fungicide, which is this one right here. That is the play, but it's much better as a preventative rather than a cure. So if you've had some blight issues, make sure that you use that in the spring before bud break, or before the flower bud break, of course, and that will help keep your peonies clean. The one that was infected there, I would stop spraying it. It's kind of almost like throwing money at the wind. It's probably better destroyed, and then using the fungicide, I should say, for early next spring, right until those flower breaks.
So if they have blight, there's a chance for them to come back next year?
There's a chance. The other thing with peonies is they like a well-drained soil. Sometimes if they're in clay or water doesn't drain quite as freely, that opens up the door. It's like opens up the door like really wide. Hey, blight, come on in. So anything that you can do to aerate the soil, or make sure if you're planting peonies, incorporate some compost and all that kind of good stuff.
Sounds good. All right, well, we had more questions for you, but we didn't have time for them. So the good news is we are having you answer those questions after the show, and so we'll put that on our Good Day Facebook page. So
excited.
More time with Dale Kay.
Just when you thought you couldn't get enough.
We cannot get enough of Dale Kay. All right, thank you.